What's up, guys? Don Mavrick here, and today we are working shoulders and rear delts. Shoulders and rear delts. And uh, this was a relatively quick workout. So I did approximately four exercises, 4 sets each. And so it was a total of, I believe it was 16 sets in total. So starting out was shoulder shrugs, barbell shoulder shrugs, and these were with 2 plates on each side, so 225 pounds. Um, and I did them for 4 sets. I kind of got off to a little bit of a rough start, but I wanted to make sure I set everything up the right way. And it's very important when you're lifting. You don't want to be distracted. You want to make sure that your focus is strictly on the weights that you're working with, and the reason being is that you don't want to cause injury. Injury comes from distraction, not being focused on what you're doing. Maybe talking on the phone, or you know, halfway doing something else, talking to somebody else in the gym. You want to be focused, and so with these, how we do them is you're squeezing, uh, pulling up from the shoulders and squeezing at the top. These are working the traps. So the traps are the back part of the shoulder. That's what gives you that wide V-shaped look at the top. And so for the next exercise, we did shoulder presses on the incline chest press machine. So what we're doing is we're reversing, we're sitting backwards, it's essentially on the machine, and pushing up. And these are working really the a bit of the rear delts, the front delts. They're kind of working a little bit of both. It's a very unique exercise. You don't really find too many exercises that work both sides of the delts, front and back, with the exception of, say, a conventional shoulder press, using either a barbell or a dumbbell, or even, for example, like on the Smith machine. But these kind of attack the shoulders from a bit of a different angle, and uh, they're very essential in terms of helping you to increase your strength as well. And so I did 4 sets of. This was actually relatively low reps on these. So I did 4 sets, I believe, of between 4 and 10 reps. So 10 pyramiding down to 4 reps. And for the next exercise, we're doing rear delt flies. Rear delt flies, working the rear deltoid muscle. And I like to do these on the pec deck machine in reverse, really stretching those rear delts, extending, using my arms to move the weight, but not pushing the weight through my arms, if that makes sense. Very important, because the arms are just a mechanism to move the weight. You have to think of your arms as hooks, essentially. You don't want it to become an arm exercise. And again, rear delts are extremely important in that they give you a complete look. You want to have a complete look. You do not want to essentially look incomplete because you do not work certain parts of your muscle groups. So the rear delts create that full 3D look that I spoke about before. Rear delt development is a must in bodybuilding. And these were for 4 sets of 30 reps, pyramiding down to, I believe, 10 to 12. So 4 sets, 30 reps down to, we'll call it 10 reps. Very important to make sure your technique is solid on these. If you find yourself using too much of your arms, you rack the weight and you start over again, or you end the set there. It's better to do that than to essentially use incorrect form, risk injury, and not properly work that muscle group. And for the last exercise, we did side lateral raises with dumbbells. Dumbbell side lateral raises. We're working the side delts. And you notice how I'm using my shoulders to move the weight. So I'm using the arms to bring up the weight, but I'm keeping that tension in the shoulders. Keeping the tension in the shoulders. And you want to understand fully what I'm saying, you want to do these with a weight that you can manage. So for some of you that might be 10 pounds, for some of you that might be 20 pounds, for some of you that might be 30 pounds. But you want to use a weight that you can use your shoulders to lift that weight and keep that tension in the shoulders without making it into an arm exercise. Very, very important. And these were 4 sets of 12. I'm extending the dumbbells as far up as I can and squeezing at the top. Squeezing those side laterals at the top. That's it for today, guys. Catch you in the next video. Peace.